Hey guys, welcome back to Mason Zero ASMR. I hope you're all doing very well today. My name is Mason, and today we're going to be going through the black cards in my Magic the Gathering cube. If you haven't seen the first 2 episodes of this little series I have going on, then there'll be links in the description, or you can go to my channel where you will find those. So, like I said, today I'll be going through the black cards. Let me know in the comments if you have any feedback on my choices for the cube. I'll start off by quickly going through some of the synergies with other colors. So black and white has warriors as a tribe. It also has life gain as a sub-theme. Black and red is pretty traditional, just aggressive, but also it has goblins as a tribe. It's primarily in red, but there's some additional support in black that helps. Black and blue is artifacts, and it does this along with red. But black and blue primarily for cards like Tezzeret from Kaladesh. And then black and green is sacrifice and graveyard synergies. And hopefully some of that will be shown through these cards. So our first card is Blood-Soaked Champion. 1 black for a 2/1 human warrior. Blood-Soaked Champion can't block. And it has Raid for 1 and a black. Return Blood-Soaked Champion from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only if you attacked with a creature this turn. So, very aggressive early creature that can come back again and again. Mardu Shadow Spear, 1 black for a 1/1 human warrior. Whenever Mardu Shadow Spear attacks, each opponent loses 1 life. Has dash for 1 and a black. We have the full art game day promo. Ghoul-Draw's Vampire, 1 black for a 1/1 vampire rogue. As long as an opponent has 10 or less life, Ghoul-Draw's Vampire gets +2/+1 and has Intimidate. So the thing that I want to do with most of the aggressive cards in my cube is make sure they're more relevant in the late game. So at the very least, this can be a 3/2 with evasion later on, which is something. Diregraph Ghoul, 1 black for a 2/2 zombie. Diregraph Ghoul enters the battlefield tapped. So an aggressive early card, and we have the full art game day promo. Thornbow Archer, 1 black for a 1/2 elf archer. Whenever Thornbow Archer attacks, each opponent who doesn't control an elf loses 1 life. I forgot to mention also in black-green is some elves. There aren't too many black elves, but there are a couple to add to the primarily green strategy. Tormented Hero, 1 black for a 2/1 human warrior. Tormented Hero enters the battlefield tapped. Has Heroic whenever you cast a spell that targets Tormented Hero. Each opponent loses 1 life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. Blood Artist, 1 and a black for a 0/1 vampire. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Gifted Aetherborn, 2 black for a 2/3 Aetherborn vampire with Death Touch and Lifelink. And it is a foil. Weirding Shaman, 1 and a black for a 2/1 Goblin Shaman. Pay 3 and a black and sacrifice a goblin to put 2 1/1 black goblin rogue creature tokens into play. So one of those black goblins that I mentioned. Also in Frog Tosser, 1 and a black for a 1/1 goblin rogue with haste. Goblin spells and rogue spells you play cost 1 less to play. Heir of Falconwrath. 1 and a black for a 2/1 vampire. Discard a card, transform Heir of Falconwrath. Activate this ability only once each turn. And on the backside, when it transforms, it becomes Heir to the Knight, which is a 3/2 with Vampire Berserker with flying. Spiteful Returned is 1 and a black for a 1/1 enchantment creature zombie with Bestow for 3 and a black. Whenever Spiteful Returned or enchanted creature attacks, defending player loses 2 life. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Bloodchin Rager, 1 and a black for a 2/2 human warrior. Whenever Bloodchin Rager attacks, each warrior creature you control can't block this turn except 2 or more creatures. Disciple of Grizzlebrand, 1 and a black for a 1/1 human cleric. Pay 1 generic and sacrifice a creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. Reassembling Skeleton, 1 and a black for a 1/1 skeleton warrior. Pay 1 and a black to return Reassembling Skeleton from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped. Auntie's Snitch, 2 and a black for a 3/1 goblin rogue. Auntie's Snitch can't block, and it has Prowl for 1 and a black. Whenever a goblin or rogue you control deals combat damage to a player, if Auntie's Snitch is in your graveyard, you may return Auntie's Snitch to your hand. Mardu Strike Leader, 2 and a black for a 3/2 human warrior. Whenever Mardu Strike Leader attacks, put a 2/1 black warrior creature token onto the battlefield, and it has dash for 3 and a black. Vampire Nighthawk, 1 and 2 black for a 2/3 vampire shaman with flying, death touch, and lifelink. Fleshbag Marauder, 2 and a black for a 3/1 zombie warrior. When Fleshbag Marauder enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. Royal Assassin, 1 and 2 black for a 1/1 human assassin. Tap to destroy target tapped creature. Mad Anti, 2 and a black for a 2/2 goblin shaman. Other goblin creatures you control get +1/+1. Tap to regenerate another target goblin. Bloodhusk Ritualist, 2 and a black for a 2/2 vampire shaman with multi-kicker for 1 black. When Bloodhusk Ritualist enters the battlefield, target opponent discards a card for each time it was kicked. Drana Liberator of Malakir, 1 and 2 black for a 2/3 vampire ally with flying and first strike. Whenever Drana Liberator of Malakir deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature you control. Nantuko Husk, 2 and a black for a 2/2 zombie insect. Sacrifice a creature, and Nantuko Husk gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And this is also a foil. Grixis Battle Mage, 2 and a black for a 2/2 human wizard. Pay a blue and tap to draw a card, then discard a card. Pay a red and tap. Target creature can't block this turn. Stinkweed Imp, 2 and a black for a 1/2 imp with flying. Whenever Stinkweed Imp deals combat damage to a creature, destroy that creature. Has Dredge 5. Night Howler, 1 and 2 black for a 0/0 enchantment creature horror with Bestow for 2 and 2 black. Night Howler and enchanted creature Each get +X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. Kalitas, Trader of Get. 2 and 2 black for a 3/4 vampire warrior with lifelink. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, instead exile that card and put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Pay 2 and a black and sacrifice another vampire or zombie. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on Kalitas, Trader of Get. Very powerful card in Standard, but no longer, so he's relegated to the cube. Entomber Exarch, 2 and 2 black for a 2/2 cleric. When Entomber Exarch enters the battlefield, choose 1. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, or target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature card from it. That player discards that card. And it is a foil version. Can't really see from the sleeves. Sangromancer, 2 and 2 black for a 3/3 vampire shaman with flying. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you may gain 3 life. Whenever an opponent discards a card, you may gain 3 life. Crypt Champion, 3 and a black for a 2/2 zombie with double strike. When Crypt Champion comes into play, each player puts a creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from his or her graveyard into play. When Crypt Champion comes into play, sacrifice it unless red was spent to play it. Bone Picker, 3 and a black for a 3/2 bird. Bone Picker costs 3 generic less to cast if a creature died this turn, and it has flying and death touch. Stink Drinker Bandit, 3 and a black for a 2/1 goblin rogue with prowl for 1 and a black. Whenever a rogue you control attacks and isn't blocked, it gets +2/+1 until end of turn. Desecration Demon, 2 and 2 black for a 6/6 demon with flying. At the beginning of each combat, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If a player does, tap Desecration Demon and put a +1/+1 counter on it. Keepsake Gorgon, 3 and 2 black for a 2/5 Gorgon with death touch, and Monstrosity 1 costing 5 and 2 black. When Keepsake Gorgon becomes monstrous, destroy target non-Gorgon creature an opponent controls. And it is also a foil. Roiling Horror, 3 and 2 black for a star horror. Roiling Horror's power and toughness are each equal to your life total minus the life total of an opponent with the most life. Has suspend X for X and 3 black. X can't be 0. Whenever a time counter is removed from Roiling Horror while it's removed from the game, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Warren Pilferers, 4 and a black for a 3/3 Goblin Rogue. When Warren Pilferers enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If that card is a Goblin card, Warren Pilferers gains haste until end of turn. Also a foil. Gilt Leaf Winnower, 3 and 2 black for a 4/3 Elf Warrior with Menace. When Gilt Leaf Winnower enters the battlefield, you may destroy target non-elf creature whose power and toughness aren't equal. Indulgent Tormentor, 3 and 2 black for a 5/3 demon with flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card unless target opponent sacrifices a creature or pays 3 life. Archetype of Finality, 4 and 2 black for a 2/3 enchantment creature, Gorgon. Creatures you control have Death Touch. Creatures your opponents control lose Death Touch and can't have or gain Death Touch. Defiant Bloodlord, 5 and 2 black for a 4/5 vampire with flying. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Herald of Anguish, 5 and 2 black for a 5/5 demon with improvise and flying. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent discards a card. Pay 1 and a black and sacrifice an artifact. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Avatar of Woe, 6 and 2 black for a 6/5 avatar. If there are 10 or more creature cards total in all graveyards, Avatar of Woe costs 6 generic less to cast, and it has Fear. Tap to destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. And for our last creature in black, we have Grizzlebrand, 4 and 4 black for a 7/7 legendary creature, demon, with flying and lifelink. Pay 7 life to draw 7 cards. Going into our instants, we have Midnight Charm, 1 black, choose 1. Midnight Charm deals 1 damage to target creature and you gain 1 life, or target creature gains first strike until end of turn, or tap target creature. Foil Supernatural Stamina, 1 black, until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains, when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Dark Ritual, 1 black to add 3 black to your mana pool. Dash Hopes, 2 black. When you play Dash Hopes, any player may pay 5 life. If a player does, counter Dash Hopes. Counter target spell. So it's black counter spell that can be countered itself, but you still come out on top if it's countered because your opponent loses 5 life, which is not too bad for 2 mana. Ultimate Price, the promo, 1 and a black, destroy target monocolored creature. Essence Extraction, also a game day promo, 1 and 2 black, Essence Extraction deals 3 damage to target creature and you gain 3 life. Crypt Incursion, 2 and a black, exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard. You gain 3 life for each card exiled this way. Cutthroat Maneuver, a foil version, 3 and a black, up to 2 target creatures each get +1/+1 and gain lifelink until end of turn. Wretched Confluence, 3 and 2 black, choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I love cards like this with options, like the commands and the confluences and such. Bone Splinters, foil as well. 1 black for a, we're into the sorceries now. As an additional cost to cast Bone Splinters, sacrifice a creature to destroy target creature. Despise, the FNM promo, I believe. 1 black, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker card from it. That player discards that card. You have Inquisition of Kozilek, which up until today was Duress, but I ended up putting this in to replace it. So it's 1 black, target player reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it with converted mana cost 3 or less. That player discards that card. Profane Command, X and 2 black, choose 2. Target player loses X life, or return target creature card with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield or target creature gets -X until end of turn, or up to X target creatures gain fear until end of turn. Warren Weirding, 1 and a black for a tribal sorcery goblin. Target player sacrifices a creature. If a goblin is sacrificed this way, that player puts 2 1/1 black goblin rogue creature tokens into play, and those tokens gain haste until end of turn. Drown in Sorrow, 1 and 2 black. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Scry 1. Victimize, 2 and a black. Choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. Never to Return. Never is 1 and 2 black. For a sorcery, destroy target creature or planeswalker. And Return is 3 and a black. For a sorcery with Aftermath, exile target card from a graveyard. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Wander in Death, foil. 2 and a black. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. And it has cycling for 2 generic. Read the Bones, 2 and a black. Scry 2, then draw 2 cards. You lose 2 life. Dread Return, 2 and 2 black. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Has flashback to sacrifice 3 creatures. You get to cast it again. Yeheni's Expertise, foil full art game day promo. 2 and 2 black. All creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. You may cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Unburial Rites, foil. 4 and a black. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it has flashback for 3 and a white. Remorseless Punishment, 3 and 2 black. Target opponent loses 5 life unless that player discards 2 cards or sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Repeat this process once. Tysis, 3 and 4 black. Destroy target creature. Its controller loses life equal to its power plus its toughness. It has Suspend 5 for 1 and a black. And its foil. A very cool looking foil, I might add, because of the blue of the time shifting. It's very cool. Now we're on to our enchantments. We have Shrieking Affliction, 1 black. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, he or she loses 3 life. Illness in the Ranks, 1 black. Creature tokens get -1/-1. Zombie Infestation, 1 and a black. Discard 2 cards. Put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Ordeal of Erebos, 1 and a black for an aura with enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then, if it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, sacrifice Ordeal of Erebos. When you sacrifice Ordeal of Erebos, target player discards 2 cards. And then we have our 2 planeswalkers in this color. We have Liliana Vess, 3 and 2 black for a planeswalker Liliana, with 5 loyalty. +1, target player discards a card. -2, search your library for a card, then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. -8, put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. We have Ob Nixilis, 3 and a black, for a 5 loyalty, planeswalker Nixilis. +1, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. -3, destroy target creature. -8, Target opponent gets an emblem with whenever a player draws a card, you lose 2 life. And those are all of our black cards for the cube. So let me know down in the comments what you think of all these. And based on the context of the blue and white cards that I've shown so far, let me know what you think of black as a color to play with another color. I hope you're looking forward to the other colors. I know I am. I'm excited to make them and show them to you. So if you liked this video, give it a like. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the video and the cube. And I'll see you in the next one when we look over all of the red cards. Have a great day or night. I hope that you're nice and relaxed. Good night.